and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome into the Dragon's Den. My name's Digital Dragon, 3D printing variety streamer here on Twitch. How's everybody doing this evening? Twitch and YouTube now, dual streaming. Hope everybody's having a good day. Getting ready for a wonderful 4th of July this weekend. Sorry for a little bit of delay after I posted the announcement all over Discord and X. For whatever reason, my main camera decided it did not want to display anything. Put on, but something had control of it. Even after a reboot, I wound up having to like unplug and replug it in the middle, like after the reboot, so that hopefully we could get it back. Honors. But yeah, I hope everybody's doing well this evening. So tonight we're going to be taking a little bit of a gander over at the FT-6 and what all I've done so far, and try and get the last few bits of that machine put together so that we can start working on doing a printer config file and getting everything set up. Like, welcome on in, Da Vinci. How are you doing? Hey, Eagle the Dragon, how you doing, brother? Thank you. Happy Independence Day to you as well. Yeah, and we'll get a little bit of teaser into an upcoming project that we'll be working on. We'll talk about that as things as we move into this evening. But hope everyone's doing well this evening. Hey, Tinkering Techie, how's it going? Camera gremlins are working overtime tonight. I'm telling you, it just refused. I did a reboot. I tried making sure all the connectors were plugged in and the reboot happened, made sure that like NVIDIA wasn't trying to grab the camera or whatever. And still no bueno. I wound up having to like, because I'm running the OBS Bot Tiny 2 cameras, and I've got 2 of the 4K cameras, and so I'm running through their hub, which is supposed to allow you to run up to 3 of their 4K cameras, you know, through one USB 3 connection. And I just wound up having to unplug it and replug it into the hub, and that finally reset whatever gremlin was there. But yeah, hope everyone's doing well. If you're in the Sanford or Raleigh or Fayetteville, North Carolina, in that area, this Sunday, July 5th, the day after July 4th and Independence Day, is the first Sunday of the month. And first Sunday of the month is our maker meetup here at Digital Dragon 3D. So if you are in this area or will be swinging by or driving through this weekend, feel free to stop by, say hi, check out the shop, and yeah, see all the cool things that we have going on here. So yeah, the Folgertech FT-6 has been a little bit of a labor of love. Excuse me. This project was brought to us by Mr. Lomax, otherwise known as Sandhills 3D. He is nearby here and a good friend of the store and the channel. And he brought this on opening day of the store. And he really wanted to sit down and work on it with me so that he can learn. And we were going through potentially designing a whole new gantry for the Orbiter 3 toolhead. And, you know, life gets in the way between my daytime job, his daytime job, other projects that he was doing that were, you know, scanning and printing stuff for vehicles and things, which is what he needed this printer for, but it prevented him from working on the CAD to model up that design, and he wanted to do it. And I came across some files because I had looked at this machine and I was like, I may want to build one of those. I mean, it's a little bit bigger than the Rift 600, so because it's 350 by 720, where the Rift is 300 by 600. It's a little bit bigger than the Rift, and even if I do a Rift 900, excuse me, dang it, the Rift 900 would be 300 by 900 millimeters. So it gets me longer length, but not deeper. And so I was sitting there thinking, well, if I can procure a bed or have a bed custom made, maybe I could, get a couple of the panels, the ACM pieces cut out that I need, and then everything else I'll fabricate out of acrylic or whatnot. And, 2020, 2040, I've got that in spades. You'll be here and make your son drive you again so you can get some driving time. And yeah, coming and chatting with me and Mrs. Dragon and even Evil Diesel. Great. We look forward to having you guys. So anyhow, long story short, I had found a site or not a site, but on printables. I want to say it's Diffusa. And Retro Maker TV, how's it going? Rating with 5 viewers. Thank you for the raid over on Twitch there. Retro Maker TV, how are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Hey, Giggy Jack, long time no see. Long time no see. Welcome on in. So yeah, we're going to be working on the Folgertech a little bit. I got a case of the yawns. I apologize. Sleep has been hard to come by these last few days and weeks. Work's going through a lot of change still, and awesome. So, the other thing I wanted to talk about too is Prime Days just happened. What did everybody get for Prime Days? I will tell you, I actually got quite a few things for the Folgertech because, well, I needed some things, and we'll go over some of that when we get over to the Folgertech because we're going to be installing it now because it's here. But then, I got I got a new Fantech cordless screwdriver. This is the NEX S2 Pro. It has 20 bits. The thing I like about it is it has varying torque, so you can go anywhere from 0.5 Newton meter to 6 Newton meter on the torque rating, which would be pretty cool. We're going to be doing several projects here coming up. We're going to be dealing with a lot of screws. There's some cool projects that I've seen that I want to get into. So we'll open this up. We'll take a look at this. And, it's a lot better than putting a tiny driver bit into a big cordless drill with, a 3 amp hour battery and trying to do it this way when you're trying to drive, M2 screws in. Doing printer builds, we don't need things like that too often, but there's other projects that we're going to be doing here on the channel soon. Yeah, things are going good at the shop. We've actually had quite a few people in this week, which has been nice. It's been a steady stream every day of the week so far. I mean, I know it's Tuesday, but Saturday we had some people, Sunday. Yesterday we had like 3 sales, even though we weren't open. We just had some people stop by to chit chat and wound up buying some things while they were here. But yeah, so long story short on the Folgertech, I had come across this thing for Diffusa, and it was basically, he has a Folgertech, he's using it for his business, and he came up with some basic mods, and really, it's the X carriage, right? That is the major thing that changed here, was the X carriage. On the Y carriage, which is the long axis, which goes, it's kind of the XY here. Let me show you. Let's go over here on the bench view, and let me pull you all in just a little bit. There we go. And I'll walk over here in front of the camera, of course, but I'll try and move this around. Hey, 3D Medic Vince, how's it going? That way I can at least somewhat see the screen occasionally. So this is the Folgertech. Sorry, I'm using it to hold some paper towels and stuff. By the way, this thing, meter stick, it is just over a meter end to end, and it's about, yeah, that's just about a meter right there. It's about 996 on that. No, it's full 1,000. So it's a full 1 meter stick of 2020 here. And then that's what gets us our distance. But the way that the Folgertech is set up, the gantry that the tool head is on, the short gantry is the X, and this is the Y. I'm going to tell you now, when I wired it up, this is X, front to back is Y. Okay? And I did that for a very specific reason, and that's because I do not have a config file for a Folgertech. Right? So we are, hey, Zombie, how's it going? Hey, Tech Jeeper, hope you all are doing well. I don't have a config file for this, so we are starting from scratch. Basically, what we have here is we do have dual motors on what is now going to be the X on the long axis. It's running 9mm belts. These two motors come into a 2-into-1, so there's a little board that sits right down here. So one driver drives both of these motors, and so I have that plumbed into the X. The Y then will be the tool head carriage that allows it to go front to back, and then the Z is a single Z stepper that drives both lead screws to drive it up and down. Very simple. We happen to have on the electronics side, let me clean the mess up here that I just made. On the electronics side, it's way overkill, but it gives us options. Folgertech, the best part of waking up. There you go, Tech Chafer. Hey, Piz Liz, how's it going? We currently have an octopus in here. He went with an octopus, one, because he had it, and then two, it gives the ability to expand out. If we need to, if we're trying to drive for speed or whatnot, we can convert these to independent motors and run them on separate drivers, which means we rather than sharing, because right now they're running in parallel, so rather than sharing the amperage that's being sent and having it, it would get full amperage to each motor. Same thing, if we want to go to independent Zs, if we're having an issue with leveling side to side, we can then go to independent Z motors down the road. It just gives us options. We've got a Big Tree Tech Pi 2. So this is the rock chip versus the H616. This is the rock chip. So it's a little bit higher end. And the nice thing with this is it does support a DSi display, as well as have the full outputs of a Raspberry Pi. And you may notice it takes 24-volt direct in. So what we've got is a 3D printed backplate. The one that came with it had been mangled a bit. So it had been mangled. We'll just leave it at that. I did find one of these that allowed for a fan to be added to the back. So I printed this out, which allowed me to install the outlet. And this is one of the nicer outlets that's, we use them in the Vorons occasionally. I'm trying to remember the term. But it's a fully isolated switch. We have our mains up at top. So we come from the inlet switch into the Wagos, out of the Wagos down to a 24-volt, 200 watt, 24-volt power supply. Then we have our connection over to the SSR with a ground, and the neutral comes back in from the bed as well. On the 24-volt side, we have 24-volt coming from the power supply up to the Wagos. This feeds the 3 inputs, so the motor, the board, and the bed on the Octopus board. And then we've got the other leg of the power supply being direct connected to our USB to feed the power to the tool head. What I needed to work on this build is a couple of things. I needed the USB extender, right? So this is a USB-A to USB. What was in it was a USB-B cable to plug into the old MKS board that was in it. Filtered inlet. There we go. Yes. Yes. Hey, Pete, how's it going? Oof. Okay, that's a little bit better. I'm getting the sun glare directly from the window right now, right in my eyes. So we're going to install this. And then the other thing I needed, and I'm still not sure if we're going to be able to use this touch screen or not that's on here. I do have a USB cable going to it, and I needed a full-size HDMI on the screen, but the micro HDMI for the Raspberry Pi, and I needed the 90-degree because of the way that it sits. So we're going to try and install these couple of cables, and then we need to route our cable chain. We can actually start working without the cable chain for now, but we will eventually need to route our cable chain, and I've got to figure out how to route this cable because the little inlet that's there for it is just not big enough, so I may have to de-pin it and then send all the cables through and then reinsert all the pins. But the micro HDMI goes on the side here, so we'll be able to reach around and hopefully get this installed. All right. Big hand, small space. Enough. Connect. Got it. I think I got it. Positive thoughts here, folks. Gah! Had it partially there. Always fun in tight confines. I may just have to, really don't want to peel that off. There is enough room for the connector to get in there. It's just trying to get it lined up and then pushed in. Smart man would have waited and not put the VHB tape down yet. See if we can't pull that out of the way and give me just a minute amount of space back. And if this doesn't work, does anybody in the nearby area have a kid with small hands? Willing to farm them out for a few minutes? Come on. Oh, there we go. Gotcha. That motor back. All right, that goes there. This goes here. Awesome. So what we also have off screen, or off screen, let me go ahead and put this, this doesn't have to be in there to get what we need to get going. I will need a plug though. I have one of those nearby. Bet you I can find one. And I will stop by and check on chat here as I come back around. You guys see the little teaser there? Okay. Folks, this is going to be the first power on. So let me just double, triple check. That's right. Negative, positive, negative. All right, I think we're good. I think we're golden. Do a countdown. 3, 2, 1.